So I was at my friend Monica's house a while back. We were having coffee, catching up, sitting at our dining table, and at some point she needed a piece of paper to write a list for her daughter. She was in the middle of texting someone, so I offered to get up to go grab it. I figured she'd send me to the home office, maybe to the printer tray. Instead, she said, "Go into the girls' bedroom. There's a white vanity. Open the second drawer on the right and dig around in there. You'll find all kinds of scrap paper." So I went across the house to her daughter's bedroom, and sure enough, there was the paper along with hair bows, a couple of those little dentist plastic bags with the travel toothbrush and toothpaste, some markers, some pens, and a container of prescription medication. Now, I don't usually say anything about stuff like that, but Monica and I go way back. So when I handed her the paper, I laughed and I said, "Oh, that's just where I figured the paper would be, right there with the girl's hair ribbons." And she cracked up and then she said, okay, so one day she got so fed up with random paper all over the dining room table. So she asked the housekeeper to put it all away for her. Well, the housekeeper gathered it all up and put it in that drawer. And Monica says, "I'm not really sure why she chose that drawer, but I guess we've all just gotten used to having it there in a bedroom, in a vanity drawer with the hair bows." We laughed and we went on with our list making. But I kept thinking about that after I left. Monica knew exactly where the paper was. She could tell me the room, the piece of furniture, the specific drawer, where in that drawer that it was. But nobody had ever decided that that was where paper was supposed to live. Her housekeeper just made a call on it. And then the whole family adapted around it for who knows how long without anyone stopping to ask whether it really made any sense. If you have a housekeeper and your home still doesn't feel quite right, this episode is going to explain why. And it might not be exactly what you think. Welcome to Organizing for Beautiful Living. I'm Z Siman, the choosy organizer. This podcast is for women who are done organizing everything and they're ready to be choosy about what matters, what's enough, and what can wait, because beautiful living starts with a little less stress and a lot more intention. This is episode 117, and today we are talking about the housekeeper paradox, as I call it. Now, you have someone coming in to clean regularly. Your home looks really good right after she leaves. I totally love cleaning lady day. But a few days later, maybe things feel off again. You can't find stuff. Certain spots just keep reverting to what it was before. And somewhere in the back of your mind, you've started wondering if you're being too hard to please, or maybe you're just not doing enough on your end to keep things going. Well, you're not, and it's not you. There are 3 very specific signs that the real issue is a missing system, not a messy house and not a bad housekeeper. By the end of this episode, you'll know all 3 and you'll know exactly where to start. Now, let me start with something that sounds obvious once you hear it, but most people have never actually thought about this explicitly. Cleaning and organizing are different jobs. They use different skills. They produce different results, and they require completely different information to do well. Cleaning is about surfaces, right? Removing dust, dirt, and grime, making things look tidy and smell fresh. Organizing is about systems, deciding where things live, why they live there, and how a specific family in a specific home moves through their specific day. Now, a great housekeeper can keep your house clean, but she cannot build you a system, at least not without a lot of input from you. And if there is no system in place, she's going to do what Monica's housekeeper did. She's going to make a decision. She'll gather up random paper, find a drawer with some room, and put it there. Done, clean, technically. It's not a failure on her part. She made a call that nobody else had made. The problem is that nobody had decided where the paper actually belongs in that house. So she decided. And now the paper lives in the vanity drawer of the girl's bedroom next to some hair bows and prescription medication. Perfectly logical to absolutely nobody, but it's done. This is the housekeeper paradox. She can maintain a system beautifully, right? But she can't create one. And if you've never built this system, she's been maintaining chaos tidally, but it's still chaos. Now, here are the three signs that this is exactly what's happening in your home, that you're caught in the housekeeper paradox. Sign number one: things get put away, but you can never find them. Your home looks reasonably clean after your housekeeper leaves, right? Surfaces are clear, things have been gathered up, everything appears to be put away. But then you go looking for the tape or a backup charger or the scissors, and you've no idea where they are because the cleaning lady put them away like you asked her to, like you expect her to. And then you end up buying a second one because it's just faster than looking all over the place for it. Or you open a drawer and you find like 47 things that have nothing in common with each other, like a junk drawer, right? A battery, a birthday candle, lip balm, a rubber band, a permission slip from way back in October. It's all tidy, but it's all completely unfindable when you actually need any of them. This is Monica's vanity drawer problem at scale, right? When there's no designated home for something, it will get put somewhere. But where it ends up is essentially random. It depends on who picked it up, how much counter space was available, which drawer looked emptiest that day. Item isn't lost, it's just in a location that follows no logic that you can trace. So the fix here is not asking your housekeeper to be more consistent. She can only be consistent if there's a system to be consistent with. If there's no assigned home, every time she visits, she's making fresh decisions. And you might get a different fresh decision each time. What you actually need is to decide where things live before you ask anyone to put them away. That work has to happen first. It can't just be outsourced to someone whose job is cleaning. Sign number two that you're caught in the housekeeper paradox is that your housekeeper cleans the same spots every week and they're messy again within days. So let's say she comes on Tuesday and clears the kitchen counter, but by Thursday it's buried again. Or she tidies the entryway and by the weekend it looks like your family just walked in, dropped everything: bags, shoes, umbrellas, books, shopping bags, Amazon packages, and then they just walked away. Like, you're not having parties, nobody's making unusual messes. Life is just happening, and somehow that's enough to undo everything that your housekeeper tidied. This is about maintenance, and it's directly connected to whether your systems actually fit how your family lives. A system that works is one where things go back to their homes almost automatically. The path of least resistance leads to the right place to put these things away. So putting the shoes into the shoe closet takes 2 seconds because they have a home that makes sense. It's near where you use them and nothing is in the way. When a system doesn't fit, putting things back requires effort. There's friction. The spot might technically be the right spot, but the shoe closet is overstuffed. So the shoes don't actually really fit there very well unless you move other things around. So they leave them on the floor in front of the shoe closet just for now. And then they stay there. And then your housekeeper moves them somewhere on Tuesday. And by Thursday, you have no idea where they went. I worked with a client named Danielle last year. We started in her kitchen, which was her biggest frustration. She was getting ready to host a big family graduation celebration for her son. So the timing felt pretty urgent. Now, during our first conversation, I asked her who makes the decisions about where things go in the kitchen. She said her husband prepares meals and packs lunches sometimes, but she's the primary user. So then I started asking about placement because I noticed that their reusable water bottles were stored in the cabinet that was closest to the stovetop, not where I would have recommended they go. So I asked her how the kitchen had been set up originally. She said that when they moved in 2 years ago, she unpacked the pots, the pans, and the silverware herself. The rest of the kitchen, she asked her cleaning lady to unpack it for them. And it had been like that ever since, not by specific choice that things went into a specific cabinet, but by default. So for 2 years, Danielle had been working around a kitchen that a well meaning person set up, but with zero information about how Danielle cooks, where she stands at the stove, which hand she reaches with, what she uses every single day versus once in a blue moon. Her cleaning lady did her best, but she was guessing, and Danielle had just adapted to those guesses for 2 years without really realizing that that's what she was doing. That's what sign two looks like when it's been running in the background for a while, when the systems were never built by or for the people who actually use the space. The cleanup never quite sticks because the system was never set up to match the real life being lived in it. And sign number 3 is that your housekeeper asks you where things go and you don't know either. Now, this one gets a nervous laugh from people because it's a bit of an uncomfortable recognition, right? Your cleaning lady holds up a charging cable and says, well, where does this go? You say, just put it in the drawer for now. She holds up the kids' craft supplies and you tell her, just put them in the basket for now. And she holds up your husband's pile of pocket stuff, his wallet, keys, receipts. And you say, oh, just put them on his side of things for right now. Just right now and just somewhere are not system answers. They are delay answers. And a good housekeeper will do exactly what you say. She'll put it in the drawer, in the basket, somewhere on his side. But next week, she'll ask you again, and you'll say someplace again. And the week after that, you'll be standing in the kitchen and you can't find the charging cable, or your husband can't find his keys. If your housekeeper regularly asks you where things go and you regularly don't have a clear answer, that's a direct signal that the decisions haven't been made yet. And those decisions are what a system is made of. Every item needs a designated home. Every category needs a place that makes sense for how your family actually uses it. Once those decisions are made and your housekeeper knows them, she can maintain them with zero friction. She'll stop asking you and things will go back to the right places. But she cannot make those decisions for you. And really, she shouldn't have to. That's not what you hired her for. You hired her to clean and tidy, probably not to make all the organizing and placement decisions for you. So, if you heard yourself in 1, 2, or all 3 of those signs of the housekeeper paradox, here's where I would start. Pick one space before her next visit. This is what I call organizing snacking, right? Like you've probably heard of fitness snacking, where in 3 minutes or 5 minute little spots of time that you happen to have while the pot of pasta is boiling or you're waiting for the load of laundry to be done, use that time to pick a small area that causes you the most friction on a regular basis. Maybe it's a kitchen counter where things pile up, the entryway where everything lands and it just stays there, or the bathroom cabinet where nothing really has a clear spot. And you're going to spend 5-10 minutes making 3 decisions in that space. Okay. This is organizing snacking. 5 or 10 minutes, 3 decisions. Where does this category of things live? Does that location make sense for how we actually use it? And is there enough room for things to go back there easily without having to move something else first? Those are the 3 decisions you need to make for that space. Then you show your housekeeper, you tell her, you give her the system to maintain. You'll see a difference the following week because now she has something to work with. Not because she changed what she does, right? But she'll have a system to follow. The cleaning maintains the system. The system has to come first. So obviously, Monica's housekeeper didn't do anything wrong. She rounded up all the paper on the dining room table. She found a drawer with some room in it and she put the paper there. Totally reasonable. Completely logical, maybe, from where she was standing, because she was walking around with those papers, happened to be putting something away, and saw that this particular drawer had space. So she put the papers down into it. But it's also completely disconnected from how that family actually lives, what they need, and where paper belongs in that house. The 3 signs that you might be living with the same housekeeper paradox: things get put away, but you can never find them. Your housekeeper cleans the same spots every week and they're messy again within days. And she asks you where things go and you don't have a clear answer. None of those signs are about her performance. They're about the absence of a system that she can actually work with and follow every time. They're also not signs of you not being able to keep up. It's just you don't have the systems yet. Cleaning and organizing are different jobs. A housekeeper can maintain a great system. She can't really build one without you. But once you build it, even in just one corner of the room, you'll feel the difference. It's a different experience from what most people with housekeepers are actually living. So if this episode made you think of someone, maybe a friend, a neighbor, a colleague, or anyone who has a housekeeper, but is still frustrated that her home doesn't feel right, send this episode to her. Click on the 3 dots, copy the link, and text it to her. She's probably wondered more than once if she's not doing enough or if she's asking too much from her housekeeper. It's neither of those things. And this episode might save her a lot of confusion. So feel free to go ahead and text her the episode, okay? I hope you have a beautifully organized week. I'm Z, and I'll see you on the next episode.